Hey, 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 we are back and we are black. Hey, 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 what is up? What is up? We are back. We are black in this bitch. This is the No, I Don't Know TV series. You know, you hear me rocking out right now. I'm about to bring to y'all a selection from the album. This is the third song on the album called Bitch, Where Was You When I Needed You? This is one of my favorite songs. Don't you agree? Give yourselves a hand. And yes, I'm about to give y'all some that y'all can rock to. Hey, hey, whoa, oh, oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, bitch, you know I need you by my side. You know that I depend on you for a ride. To get back and forth to my other bitch's house. Cause you know that I'm tired of sleeping on your couch. You know that I need you, bitch, in my life. You know I need you by my side. To come with me to the grocery store. Because my food stamp card don't work no more, bitch. Where was you when I needed you? That's all I'm gonna give y'all. That's all I'm gonna give y'all. That's all I'm gonna give y'all. Let me turn that shit down. That's from the up and coming album called Bitch, Where Was You When I Needed You? That's the third track on there. I'm gonna be releasing that album real soon. You know what I'm saying? I just thought I'd give y'all a little taste of that. Yeah. You know, I had to put that together. I was in the studio all night working on that shit, coming up with lyrics, but that was the lyrics that I came up with. And I do like the title of that album called Bitch, Where Was You When I Needed You? But anyway, this is the No, I Don't Know TV series. You know I'm about to get on it real quick. Did Jesus come back today? Oh, damn. That nigga didn't show again. Oh, God damn. Oh, hell no. He didn't come back, man. I thought that Jesus would return, man. I just, because I know everybody, that shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll pray to that all day. Cesare Borgia is what you're praying to anyway. But anyway, for all y'all people that went to church and prayed for your sins, I know y'all, oh, Lord Jesus, you a merciful God, yeah. All y'all bitches that went to church and prayed, I prayed for all your sins and all the fucking and hoeing you was doing the whole week. And now you want to be up on Sunday singing in the choir. Probably had a nerve to have on all white like a virgin. Knowing good goddamn well you ain't no damn virgin. But anyway, I digress. I know y'all niggas at Sunday school and teaching. Man, I remember I knew a bitch that used to teach Sunday school. Man, I said, man, me and my cousin, we was looking at this bitch. Now this bitch is teaching Sunday school and just got done fucking a nigga I know. Royally, just fucking him. And you're supposed to be teaching Sunday school. Man, please, man. It's the biggest sinners and hoes and pimps in church than anything else. But I digress. So for all y'all that was waiting on Jesus' prophetic return, he didn't come back today. You are the God. Y'all need to go check out Billy Carson. He talks about that. You are the God. The God is in you. But anyway, I digress. We about to get into something real serious. I want to start it off because I didn't want to be too depressing. But, man, I've been watching some things. But I'm going to get right into the topic. I don't know. I know her last name is Jefferson. Atatiana Jefferson, shot and killed by police. Now, these are the things that I'm talking about. as I'm watching TV and I'm looking how they putting the Asian community on TV for a council, and the LGBTQ LMNOP community and all the other places. Now, where the fuck are all these people at? This is the thing that I've been talking about all this time. Now, we have a sister who, as I'm doing the research, I'm starting to see, she's a college student. She graduated, very educated, and she had a firearm. Now, I don't like that somebody called the police on him, and from the research that I've done, I think it's a brother who did that. And the reason why, we got to stop doing that to each other. We got to stop looking at each other like, I was concerned. No, you wasn't. You probably didn't like old girl, and let me call police because she got her door open, and I feel for safety for her kids. Man, get the fuck out of here. We supposed to police the neighborhood. You don't call the police. Y'all know, when you call the police on your brother or your sister, you are putting them in harm's way and in danger. That's what you're doing to them. So when that takes place, don't be talking about you feel bad now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is the shit that I'm tired of watching and seeing. And it's like, hey, man, you got to get to that point where it's like, have some common sense. Now, as I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, damn. Now, what the fuck is going on where we got to call police on each other? I feel for the safety of the kids. You wasn't feeling for the damn safety of no damn kids, nigga. You was a Dudley Do-Right and a coon. Now, why would you do that? Why didn't you go knock on her door? Since you knew her very well, and say, hey, is everything okay? Because I know your door is open. Hello, is anybody home? Why don't you go get another neighbor? Don't call the police. And then the police, you look at the camera footage, the gun is sitting on the table. She didn't have the gun in her hand. Put your hands up and you just shot. Bang. That's because these police officers that are being hired, they don't know how to police our neighborhoods. Y'all need to understand this. They are hiring police officers and law enforcement that come from wealthy homes that have not been, I would say, exposed to melanated culture. So they don't know how to deal with melanated brothers and sisters. That's why we need to police our own. That's why when I ride around, I see a lot of Caucasians on the police force. And I'll be like, damn, now how are these Caucasians going to police our neighborhood? When they have no idea of what we think, how we think, what we think about, how we've been oppressed. They don't care about how we've been oppressed. That's a fact. And now this sister, from my research, this sister was very, very intelligent, smart, college educated. Now, they're going to vilify her and demonize her and make it seem like she wasn't taking care of her kids and all this other bullshit. But from my research, she graduated from Xavier University. Hey, nigga can't just walk on to Xavier University. So she had to have some type of intelligence and some type of book smarts about herself. But the thing that really bothers me about our law enforcement, they are being infiltrated by the system of white supremacy. The FBI already came out with that report that says law enforcement is being infiltrated by the KKK and white supremacists. So with that being said, then why are we not doing the hiring a different way? But of course we're not, because it's a system that we can't change. It's not our system. That's the thing that everybody needs to understand and look at. It's not our system, so it's not going to change. We have to go in there and start policing our own and understanding what needs to be done. And stop sitting and waiting for them to make the change. So this is when we get behind Byron Allen and we get behind our black billionaires, and then we ask things of them. Stop asking for our black billionaires to be activists. Start asking for our black billionaires to give us jobs in our community, to give us housing in our community, so we can start owning our own shit. I have this conversation with my family all the damn time. Own. Don't rent. Own if you can. I'm talking to all my brothers and sisters and any people that I know. Look, if you don't own, nigga. If you don't own, then maybe tonight you got to put those. Hey, ain't no shopping tonight. Ain't no going to no motherfucking club tonight. Ain't no kicking it. Nigga, and for all my niggas that really know who, put the weed down, nigga. Put the drink down, nigga. You ain't gonna be able to entertain tonight. Start saving that money so you can buy you some property. Because let me tell you, the average property out here in Las Vegas is $300,000 now. In 2007, 2008, the average property was $80,000 to $50,000, $50,000 to $80,000 for the average property. Anybody can vet me on those numbers. I remember those times. 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011. Those were the worst time for housing. That's when you can buy 2 or 3 properties. Now, you can barely afford to buy one. And if you buy one, it's going to be for $315,000 to start. We need to start putting our money together, because when I go through these neighborhoods and I see these things, but we got to know how to conduct ourselves. And it's funny just even looking at this, and not funny, but it kind of fucked with me, because I'm like, now I hope the police, not the police department, but I hope the person who called the police, not only are you regretful, you got to make amends, man. Because you just got somebody killed by your negligence of calling the police, which you know they're going to shoot first and think second. They're not going to think first and then shoot. They're not trained that way, especially when it's coming to dealing with melanated brothers and sisters. That's a fact. These are the things that we got to look at. And another thing that I want to talk about and look at is, in neighborhoods, I'll be walking and sometimes because I got dogs too. So y'all hear them barking in the background too, and I got dogs, and I walk my dogs, but I'm very, very cautious of how I walk my dogs and how I interact with them, because I don't want the police being called on me, and I don't want the police being called on my brother or sister. So I'm very, very cautious of how I deal with that. Well, sometimes you have niggas, and these are the niggas that, for some sort of reason, they feel like they don't have nothing to lose. And they want to perpetuate situations, and they want to invoke a lot of that bullshit. But I think a lot of those melanated brothers and sisters that don't have nothing to lose, they don't give a fuck about going to prison. They don't give a fuck about getting a ticket, for their dogs or anything like that. And I noticed that because I dealt with a motherfucker like that. He just walking his dogs and acting a goddamn fool. And I'm like, damn, he don't get it. They're going to call the police on you, take your fucking dogs from you, and then you just going to be another nigga in jail, in the system. Because, for y'all that don't know about Las Vegas, Nevada, they laws ain't nothing nice when it comes to the animals. Let me tell you something. They don't give a fuck about no niggas, but they care about they damn animals. You shoot an animal or do something fucked up to an animal and see what the fuck they do to you. That's a motherfucking fact. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. We got to know how to interact with each other and stop viewing each other as street meat, as competition, and start getting around each other and knowing how to enjoy each other's company. And the reason why you're like, why are you saying that? Because if that neighbor, from my research, was black, melanated, and called the police saying that you were concerned about her welfare, then why the fuck didn't you knock on the door, knock on the window, and say, hello, is anyone home? Your door is open. No, you called the fucking law enforcement, and they come in guns blazing, searching the house, just gun blazing. That's why anytime somebody calls police, your life is in danger. That's a fact. Your life is in danger. And don't forget, and don't be all emotional and all this other stuff. Make sure your firearms are put away. It might sound like it's some cool shit, but this shit that you want to go home to. You want to be able to go home. You want to be able to wake up the next day. Don't be big and bad for the police department, because they don't give a flying fuck about you being bad. They gonna be like, yeah, that badass nigger is dead. And then they gonna guap you off. They gonna pay you off, cut you a check, and then they gonna go on about your way. Look at Philando Castile. He got shot on Facebook Live. Ain't nobody talking about Philando no more. The same people that will run up to you and be like, damn, did you see what just happened? Those people, they don't even talk about it. But I do, y'all notice. I still talk about Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Oscar Grant, Walter Scott. We gonna keep talking about these people. Now we're talking about Atatiana Jefferson, 28 years old. She probably was sitting in her own home chilling. You know what I'm saying? Had her firearm right there just in case somebody wanted to run in. We don't know. But she was a college student, graduate. So now they can't, because you know what they about to do. The same thing they did with Jean Botham, or whatever his name is. Botham John, or whatever his name is. Oh, he was this and he was that and he was all this, the witness. Oh, he gets killed because it's a drug deal. Man, get the fuck out of here. All of a sudden, he pushing mad weight. Man, please. Y'all motherfuckers is full of shit. And that's a fact. I know not to move to no damn Texas. I tell you that. I don't even want to drive through that motherfucker. Matter of fact, I don't even want to say the word Texas. Shit. God damn. I mean, them some steers and queers down there getting ready to shoot up every goddamn thing. I mean, I tell you. You know, and I know what they thinking. These niggers ain't gonna be coming up here acting no goddamn fool. I'll kill me a nigger in a minute. That's what they saying. And that's what they thinking. And let me tell you, ain't nothing gonna happen. Because they're gonna acquit that officer. Matter of fact, they're not even releasing his name. And let me tell you something. There's not gonna be justice. Justice is just us. That's why you gotta know and read the history. I talk about this book all the damn time, and I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep talking about this fucking book. That is The Burglary. Yes, it is the book of Eli. And yes, nigga, I read the whole goddamn book. For niggas that be like, man, that nigga probably don't even reading them books. You got me fucked up, nigga. I read the book. That's a fact. Get that book, The Burglary. The discovery of J. Edgar Hoover's secret FBI files and what the hell he's doing. So if that is our history, history has taught us that, you know what, law enforcement has never been on the melanated side of things. It's always been on the opposite side of melanated brothers and sisters. So we need to move accordingly. We need to know our rules and regulations, know our laws. Get you a Black's Law Dictionary. Get you one. Get you a Black's Law Dictionary and understand what this shit is about. Get you that shit. Understand what the fuck it is. For real. Just have it on hand so you can know what it is. And then start doing the research. Let's start picking up books and reading them, everybody. That's what we need to start doing. Read. Niggas don't want to read nothing. That's why a lot of times when I talk to people about reading, they're like, hey man, you read such book? Oh no, I ain't read that book, man. I don't really read, man. And then it's those niggas that don't read that try to talk shit about readers. Oh man, you can't believe everything you read in the book. That type of shit. But niggas believe everything on that dollar. Niggas believe everything that Bill Gates tell them and everything that everybody else tell them. But when it comes to financial stability and everything, we listen to Gary Vee and all these other motherfuckers. But when it comes to thinking and researching and reading books by Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, by Dr. Boyce Watkins, by Dr. Claude Anderson. It's so funny when I talk about these niggas, people be like, who is that? I'm like, so you know about Gary Vee and all these other motherfuckers. First of all, y'all need to understand this. Let's just look at it from an intellectual standpoint. There's nothing wrong with getting information or attaining information from the dominant society. That's a good thing. And there's nothing wrong from using them as maybe a precursor to what you want to do or inspiration. But you need to understand that Tony Robbins and Tim Wise, that is their perspective on, our struggle. The best perspective on our struggle comes from our people. And that is it. That's why I feel like when it comes to the melanated community, Tim Wise needs to hush the fuck up and get with people like Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Frances Cress Welsing when she was alive, and Neely Fuller Jr. These people, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he was alive, or if maybe he was alive, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you need to get with these people and take a back seat and ask them what is it you can do to help the melanated community. Not write books and make money and profit off our struggle, because that's what I feel like Tim Wise is doing. That's why I don't have any of his books. That's why I don't fuck with him. I'd rather listen to Jane Elliott than listen to Tim Wise. Tim Wise reminds me of a preacher. He reminds me of a preacher on Sunday that's going to give you the best sermon of your life and then pass that collection plate around and make sure you put it into his offering. See, I grew up like that. Now, the church that I grew up in, it wasn't like that. But churches that we did go to, and my siblings know, it was all about the dollar bill, y'all. That's a fact. That's a fact. You're like, oh, no, nah, nigga, I ain't go to no big church. So, nigga, I don't know what it is to go to no big ass church and live great and all this other stuff. Nah, that didn't happen the way I grew up. But I'll tell you this though, I learned a lot of how church organizations become big mega churches and how it's a business. And that's fine, but let's take from that business and let's build businesses. Let's get property. That's right. Hey, what's going on? Let's stay on code. Niggas don't know how to stay on code. That is, why would you call the police? That's the thing that I'm like, well, why didn't he go knock on the door? Why didn't he go knock on the door and say, hey, is everything okay? Hello? Is everything okay? Y'all good? If that's your brother or sister, now, if it's a dominant society, you don't really fuck with them like that, then you fuck it. Now, you call the police and that's on them. But let me tell you something. The police wouldn't have ran up in nobody else and shot no dominant society motherfucker. That would have been off code. That's a fact. Man, oh, you reading ISIS papers right now? Hey, man, you read that book? Hey, all y'all go check out the ISIS papers by Dr. Frances Quest Welsing. She is one of our elders. She is, I would put her up there with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'd put her up there with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for all the work and research, all the things that she did to put us on the game. Only thing that I'm upset about is better late than never, but I'm upset that I feel like we need to start teaching our young kids now about who Dr. Frances Quest Welsing is, who Neely Fuller Jr. is, who Dr. Claude Anderson is. You need to know who these people are. For those that don't like Frederick Price out of California, LA, Los Angeles, the Crenshaw Center, well, I'll give Frederick Price this. He had Dr. Claude Anderson at his church to speak to his congregation. How many pastors do you know have had Dr. Claude Anderson at their church to speak to their congregation? And Frederick Price is on TV. Frederick Price is big. Everybody know who Frederick Price is in California and LA. So I don't see Noel Jones or where's all these other bishops, preachers of LA? Why they don't have Dr. Claude Anderson on there? And Bishop McClendon and all these other people. Yeah, hey, y'all want these motherfuckers to come and sing, do all this other shit. But when it comes to the financial game, and then when it comes to building a community with melanated people, we're lacking. We're lackluster. I tell my family, they'll tell you this. You like, you just think, man, they the first motherfuckers I tell. Y'all niggas better start reading. It's all about property. You better listen to E40. You got to buy a piece of the earth before you go buy an $80,000 car. I tell people this all the time. Go buy property. Oh, well, I can't do it right now. Okay, you need help on knowing how? Build your credit first. After you build your credit, then you move forward to the next step. Then you get your FHA loan. Then once you get your FHA loan, that's the first time buyers a program. Everybody qualifies for it. Your credit score has to be over a 685. Trust me, I know. And then when you buy you a home that you can't afford. Don't buy your home for everybody else. Do not do that. And let me tell you right now, it's probably a little harder because of the economy and the Raider Stadium and all this bullshit that's going on. But it will tank. As below, so above. As so above, as below. The Kabbalion. Go get that book. That means, hey, there's going to be times where you up. There's going to be times where you down. There's going to be times where you're in the middle. It's always those issues. But that's life. If there's no challenges, that what I have learned, then that's not going to build your character. And these are the things that we got to start looking at, because when you look at this sister, Atatiana Jefferson, she's 28 years old. She's a baby. She hasn't even grown into who she could be as a melanated woman. Now, she was educated. So that's so if she was educated, I'm pretty sure she was educated enough to know, okay, I got my firearm in my house just in case if a nigga want to trip and run up in here. But that doesn't give the right of the police officers to just bust on her through the window if she's not posing a threat. Now, in the camera footage that I just watched, guess what? The gun was on the table. So why are you shooting? Why didn't y'all get on the bullhorn and say, this is the police, please put your hands up? No, y'all came in there, y'all circled her house like thieves in the night. Oh, it'll be justified. That was a justifiable killing, according to them. And you know why? Isn't this so ironic? After Amber Geiger gets the 10-year sentence, Joshua Brown gets killed, and then Atatiana Jefferson gets killed. Y'all don't see? This is what they do. Just like when Obama got elected, we all jumping. I was right there with everybody. That's a fact. I voted Obama, nigga, Obama for your mama, Obama. You know, my mama, everybody, Obama. And then Trayvon Martin. Then Oscar Grant. Then Mike Brown. Then what else? Walter Scott. Alton Sterling. I mean, this melanated person after melanated person just getting gunned down. And what happened? Nothing. And what did Obama do? Obama didn't do a motherfucking thing. Obama was like, man, fuck these niggas. I'm in a seat where I'm going to make sure my kids ain't got to deal with that. You know why? Because we are an individual community first, and then we're a team sport second. And we're always a team sport when individually we can't get what we want. That's a fact. I've been around those type of people. We don't know how to work together. I talk about that all the time. I was in 2 rap groups. I was in a rap group where You know, I wasn't the dominant. I was the minority. I was the only black person. It was a white boy, then it was a Jewish homeboy. But you know what? They respected my talent. They respected who I was. And I was in a black rap group, and me and my other homeboy, we was cool. We had mutual respect, but it's always that one nigga that think he better than the group, and it's always that nigga that's the least talented that want to be like that. We don't know how to work with each other. If that's your neighbor or your brethren, next door, sister, brother, and that's your neighbor, you don't call police, go knock on, hey man, y'all good? I do in my neighborhood. I speak to all the melanated brothers and sisters. I speak to everybody, but I speak to my melanated brothers and sisters because it's not many of us over here at all. And let me tell you, there was an older melanated couple, I loved them. They sold their crib, and guess who in it? Latinos. So while we sitting back talking shit about, niggas always want to make fun of Mexicans and Mexican this and all this other shit, but while you laughing, they buying up all the property and y'all asses is renting. That's what we got to stop that. Laughing and look, we call the police on each other, and then when somebody get killed, one of ours, I didn't mean to do that. And while we doing that, the Latino community is coming together. They got businesses. They are allowed to do that. Because you know what? They don't pose a threat like us, because when we come together, when that melanin is focused and everybody's focusing on the same page, no. Shit, they'll drop a bomb on the melanated brothers and sisters. They don't want that shit to happen again, because when we focus, we're focused. So let us get focused on what's going on with Atatiana Jefferson, because that's bullshit, man. R.I.P. to her. My prayers and condolences go out to her family. Y'all can march, whine, repeat, all the fuck y'all want, but if y'all don't know the law and know what the fuck is going on, then y'all just gonna be marching, whining, and repeating and doing the same bullshit that I've seen for the last 10 years. Marching, whining, and repeating and moaning and groaning as the dominant society is like, Bob, come look at all these Negroes marching. I feel sorry for them. If they only knew the law and they only knew, we don't care about them marching. You know what I mean? No, what you start doing is putting liens on police's bonds. Oh, you want to kill her? We're putting a lien on your bond. Now you can't work. Now you can't work. Matter of fact, let's put a lien on that judge's bond. Let's make sure this. You're not practicing right now, clown. But no, we don't want to learn that shit. You know what we want to learn? We want to we want to dance. That's a fact. That's a fact. A lot of I watched the Deion Cole special too on Netflix. Deion Cole is one of my favorite comedians. Very, very funny, very original, and he right. Music back in the day, he broke down After 7. I want to give you the stars, the moon, the sky, the mountains. I want to give you the world and even more. He said it now is, I'll give you this dick. That's a fact. And there's nothing wrong with this music. I love the music that's going on right now. It's different. It's not really my cup of tea, but it is different. But the thing about it that we got to learn is we need the OGs to step up and start. Each one has to teach one. When I get around young folks, they don't like me. Not that I have enough knowledge, but I tell motherfuckers, especially when it comes to property. Especially when it comes to property, I'm the first nigga to be like, look, while y'all niggas is out there giving all y'all money away to everything else, as my mother would say, if you're in an apartment, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. If you're renting a home, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. That's what my mother would say. A lot. And I would always be like, damn, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, and then when I got older, I started to see, oh, shit. And y'all know how apartments can be. I know how they are. They dick you around. And with the housing prices going up, guess what's going to go up? The rent is going to go up. That's why average rent is, what, $1,100 to $1,200 a month? Now, I remember when rent used to be $600 a month for a fucking apartment. A 2-bedroom is $650. Man, in Las Vegas, Nevada now, a 2-bedroom is $1,200 for a 2-bedroom. So that should let us know we're not banding together. We are separate. We have to put our pride to the side. See, and then I'm talking to the niggas too that own their little homes. Stop looking down on niggas and acting like you done something so special. Let me tell you something. Oh, you think you done something special? Oh yeah, I got my crib, you think you did something special? Okay, right. Okay, well I want you who is a fucking homeowner, go get this etymology dictionary. Go get this etymology dictionary. And when you go get this book, you go get it on Amazon. Get your etymology dictionary, and when you go get it, I want you to look up mortgage. And when you look up mortgage, it's going to give you the etymology of the word. That's the origin of how the word was created. And it means death pledge, which means, yeah, you're locked into a 30-year mortgage, but guess what? You're probably not going to be around long enough to pay it off. So while you're talking shit about everybody in your 5-bedroom, 5,000 square foot, and you're popping your collar and your thing, it's a lot of niggas like that out here. I be laughing at these motherfuckers. I ain't gonna call on no names, but it's a lot of people that I've seen and I've witnessed and I've been around that think, oh, well, I got the $5,000. I ain't into that. Because just as quick as you got it, you can lose it even faster. Because the majority of these people that have these illustrious homes, they work at an illustrious corporate plantation. And as you've known and heard me speak, corporate America is deemed insane as far as how the rules are structured, because it's about the bottom line, profit. So they don't see you as an individual. They see you as a number. And then as within that number and that infrastructure, hey, if you're not cutting it, you out of there. And they don't give a fuck how you gonna pay your mortgage. You're a death pledge. So while you're popping your collar and thinking you're better than, you know, I see a lot of niggas like that. I see my people, and when we in a nice fancy car, we can't wait to roll up on each other, you know, and floss on each other. Now, you know what's so funny? I want to see us roll up on the dominant society and try to floss on them. Oh, that's right. You can't run up on them and floss. That's right. That's because they own it. They're the authors of even your narrative. So you can't floss on them. The only way you can floss on them is Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson. Black Labor, White Wealth, Dr. Claude Anderson. The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code, Nelly Fuller Jr. The Fall of America by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. How to Eat to Live by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Go get those books. That's how you can floss on them. Self-empowerment. You know what I love? It's so funny. I'm going to talk about this shit too. Oh yeah, I'm going to be on here for a minute. I'm going to talk about this shit too. It's so funny. I was talking to one of my Latino sisters, very, very cool sister. And, you know, we was talking about health and eating. And I was like, yeah, man, I used to, you know, drink and eat real bad. So I don't really do that no more. And I kind of like, I don't eat a lot of red meat. Matter of fact, I haven't ate red meat in probably about 4 or 5 years. And I eat a little bit of fish, just a little bit, but not that much. And as we're talking, you know, another young lady was like, oh, you follow Dr. Sebi? And it's so funny how globalized Dr. Sebi is and how romanticized he is now. Like, oh, Dr. Sebi. But you know what's so funny? This is what I love to hit people with. Let me tell you what I love to hit people with. I'm be like, oh, you follow Dr. Sebi? And they're like, yeah. I was like, well, then you might as well go read the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, How to Eat to Live. And they're like, who's the Honorable Elijah? That's Nation Islam. Oh, isn't he like pro? Exactly, because that's where Dr. Sebi got his teachings from. And if you don't believe me, Google Dr. Sebi and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. Because Dr. Sebi was a part of the Nation of Islam. These are things that people don't know. And see, they want to separate, like Dr. Sebi just came up with all this on his own, but he was up under the tutelage and guiding and leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I love it. Because when you say that to them, they're like, are you serious? Yeah. So before you start delving into Dr. Sebi's teachings, maybe you might want to read How to Eat to Live by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. No, I'm not no Muslim, but you know what? I respect the Nation of Islam because they have done things. History has taught us that the things that they have done for our community is remarkable. Now you go find me several mega churches that have put out books on health and wealth. What mega churches have brought us Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, or Malcolm X? Monumental brothers and sisters. Betty Shabazz, all them. No, they're not responsible for that. Malcolm X shifted the culture of how we look at things. So that's why you always hear me talking about How to Eat to Live and all this, because they like to often separate Dr. Sebi's teachings and like he just came up with everything on his own, and or as if he followed the teachings of the dominant society. And then it's so funny how the Hondurans Oh, Dr. Sebi, that shit. But, well, Dr. Sebi was the part of the Nation of Islam. Dr. Sebi didn't consider him a Latin Afro-American. He didn't. But that's just me. That's just my view on it. These are just things that we have to know. That's why when you have a neighbor, such as Atatiana Jefferson, you don't just pick up the phone and call the police because the door is open or the garage is open. Go over there and check on your brother or sister if you feel like they're in danger. But you know what it is? We don't view each other as allies. We view each other as foes. Competition. Especially when you get on the corporate plantation. And not even the corporate plantation, especially when it's money involved. We don't know how to come together. I look at the black barbershops out here in Las Vegas. Shit. You better look. These Latinos, they starting to take over the barbershop game. And they know how to cut their hair like us. Now, there's certain things that they can't do like us, but there's a lot of shit that they learn in our art form. And they are coming in, learning our art form, and they are taking it and running with it. And you look up, it's a barbershop everywhere, and it ain't no black barbershop. That's a fact. I look at the beauty salons and the nail salons. Where are my black nail techs at? Where are they at? Why are we not pumping them? We always love to go to the Asians and all that. That's why I look at this whole bullshit with our hair. When we go to melanated sister's hair, why is it the Asians got the plug on that? Because Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us that they're taught to sell to us, sell the product and take the money and put it back in their community. They're not taught to barter with us business-wise. That's why you can go to Swap Meet. I got a cloth for you. I got a hip-hop cloth for you. I got a cargo short for you. I got a that for you. That's what they got for us. But don't talk about you want to go in business with them, because they damn sure ain't going to go into business with you. And they damn sure ain't going to make sure they patronize melanated businesses. I'll talk about this every podcast. Why is it on the west side? Only thing we got is Mario's, and that's owned by a Latino brother. Where are black businesses at besides Annie's? That's the only one. And we got I think it's a clothing shop downtown, on the west side on Jackson Street. And we got the mosque. Where are our other black businesses? And you notice on Lake Mead and MLK, if you're from Las Vegas or you live in Las Vegas, there's a Panda Express, a Starbucks, a McDevil's. There is a Taco Hell. What else is there? There is Jack in the goddamn Crack. They got all these wonderful things, but there's no melanated business. Now, if they gonna sell us the poison, then why we can't poison our own? No diss, but I'm just saying, why we can't sell the barbecue and the fucked up ass meat and shit like that to ourselves? I look at the grocery store, buy low, with old stinky meat. We had a Vons over there, and they got rid of that motherfucker. These are just things that we gotta look at. I look at the not the MLK, but the West Side Shopping Center. I wonder how many melanated businesses over there. I thought about putting a business over there. You're like, nigga, you bullshit. Nah, I have, and I'm still thinking about it. Now that's what I'm talking. Shout out to my nigga Branty and his cousin and Nuke and all them. We got to do something. Somebody got to take the step forward. See, we listen to Jay Morrison and we let him get us all hyped up for a minute, and then everybody go about what the fuck their original plan was: to buy Jordans, buy cars, clothes, fuck hoes, and floss. That's all. That's a lot of times I feel like that's all we want to do. We just want to fuck. I'm talking about niggas. Like, hey, nigga, what you talking about? What you getting into this weekend? Shit, I'm trying to see what this one bitch is talking about. Oh, shit, she got some friends? Shit, okay, shit. Well, let me go get a haircut real quick and give me some gear and shit. And then I'll holler at you, man. Where you want to take them bitches out? Man, we take them out, Let's take them to the MGM and some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Let them gamble a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we worried about. We worry about what type of bitch we have on our arm and how we look and what kind of car we have, because we got to make sure our rims is clean. Half of these niggas with clean rims and cars and clothes, they have no idea about generational wealth, and they're not worried about it. And they don't care. You know why they don't care? Because it's not socialized to them. Just like this, a lot of the things that I talk about, I would say 90% of the things that I talk about was not socialized to me. I didn't grow up under that type of tutelage of generational wealth and buying property and maintaining property and making sure that You know, even if you don't have kids, your nephews and nieces, and they always have a place to stay, and there's always a place that they can go. See, that wasn't taught to me, but I've obtained the knowledge and learned it by reading Dr. Boyce Watkins' books, Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough's book. See, when you start reading these books, you like, damn, this motherfucker's right. Generational wealth does not stay in the melanated community long, because we be ready to sell, or we it's at an all-time high, time to sell. Nah. You know, because, you know, hey, well, let me sell, and that's fine. But I can only tell you what our younger generation needs to do. We need to learn how to stick together so things like Atatiana Jefferson does not keep happening. Or Botham John, or Jean Botham, whatever his name is, ain't getting killed. Or Eric Gardner's not getting choked out on video. Why Daniel Pantaleo got to wait 5 years to get fired. You know how much money and bread he probably stacked up in the 5 years of him? And he didn't have no remorse. If he did, he would have fucking quit. And he'd have been like, I quit. Let me apologize to them. No, because he don't like no melanated people. See, y'all want to be liked and accepted so goddamn bad. Stop doing that. Love yourself first. You can't love nobody else if you don't love yourself. And I ain't no relationship expert, none of that, but it's just like, hey, before you start trying to engage in relationships, and I'm not talking about sexual relationships, I'm just talking about relationships, friendships, and you gotta be self-secure in who you are and establish boundaries. And stop, as Dion Cole would say, stop having a bunch of bullshit motherfucking lying ass niggas around you. Straight up, have thorough people around you, because that'll keep you on check and check and keep you on point of what you need to be doing. These are just things that I look at, man, all the time. I go from neighborhood to neighborhood. Sometimes I just get in my car when I get off the corporate plantation. I just go drive around neighborhoods. I do it often, just so I can see who's living there, who's not living there. If it's not gated, if it's gated and I can get through the gate, I'll drive around there because I want to see who's living in these neighborhoods. It's not just about going on Zillow.com. Zillow.com ain't going to tell you what type of family is living in there. That's a fact. These are the things that we got to look at, man. We cannot have a Atatiana Jefferson. Like, that shit is irritating, man. I'm mad because, like, why would you call the police on your brother or your sister before going to check? That's how detached we are from each other. That's a fact. We're so detached from each other, we'd rather call the police. Not me, I don't do that. Every melanated person I see, I say what's up. Even if I don't really particularly agree with what they got going on, I'ma still say what's up. That's a fact. I try to go out of my way because it's very important. We don't own shit. So when I see a melanated brother and sister, the first thing I be thinking is, please, I hope they don't sell. And please, I hope they just keep it. And please, I hope they treat their property like it's gold, because it's a property and it's very hard to attain and maintain. See, if a Atatiana Jefferson was in a home, minding her own goddamn business, why would you call the police and then the police walking around the goddamn house like they thieves, getting ready to break into shit? And then when they see her, oh, put your hand up, bow. Come on, man. We got to stop that shit. And then the neighbor, the nigga that called the police, talking about, oh, I regret it. Oh, you regret it? Somebody need to kick him in his ass. Like, what would you do that for? Come on. And it's like, oh, well, the police should have done that. You're right. But why would we even call the police? That's the real question. Why are we calling the police on our own people? We are disaggregate, disenfranchised human beings on this planet. They've had not just a 500-year head start. We were the cleats, and they were using us to get the head start. You know why? Because if you read the book Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson, he teaches you everything you need to know. That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, shout out to chat room, Jessica Mallory. What's happening? Appreciate it, man. Hey, I'm not in here begging, and man, fuck all that. This is some real shit. Let me read something very irritating. I wonder if neighborhood watches of black people will spring up. You know what? That's a good idea. Shout out to Jessica Mallory. That's a good ass idea. It needs to be more melanated watches. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this racism and classism from my perspective. When melanated people start loving each other, the dominant society, the white people that are not with that racism and white supremacy, they're going to automatically come on our side of the fence. I've seen it a million times, especially when you respect your people and you respect you. They're not going to, they know. Let me tell you something. You like, oh, Warren, you just saying that. Nah, that's some cool shit. Okay, bullshit then. History has taught us. The burglary. I'm going to show you again. Go get this book and read it. And I'll tell you, it is the motherfucking book of Eli. Go get the book. And let me tell you, there was some white people in there. Keith Forsyth, I just remember his name because he was the nigga that broke in the FBI building. When they found these files that J. Edgar Hoover had on melanated people, they could have kept the files and just put out the files about the war. But when they saw those files about black people, they was like, oh shit, we gotta put this shit out. Like, they fucking over black people. You like, well, why would they do that? Let me tell you, because Keith Forsyth was down there protesting down south and they all got locked up. And this melanated preacher who had a farm put his house up and farm for collateral to bail Keith Forsyth and the rest of those people out of the jail for protesting with them. And he said he didn't have to do that. He could have just let me stay in jail and let somebody else bail me out. But he did that because that's just how forgiving, loving, and kind melanated people are. Melanated people are the most understanding and accepting people on this planet. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. Let me say, I just told Des earlier that I make it a point to speak to all my melanated sisters and brothers. That's part of staying on code. That's a fact. You got to, even if you don't want to. Even when you don't want to. Trust and believe you me. You don't think it's people that I see even at the court plantation and just out and they act like they can't speak and they got attitude and all this other stuff. But you know what I try to do? I try to put my ego to the side and say, well, fuck it. Let me speak anyway. Because these are my people. And if I don't love them, who the fuck else is going to love them? Because let me tell you this. You better stop listening to Mary J. I can love you better. That's bullshit. No, you can love yourself better. And then somebody else will be required to love you just as much as you love yourself. But if you don't love yourself, then how can you love anybody else? That's why I always speak about property. I always speak about maintaining, getting your money game on tight. Hey, my money game needs a lot of work. My money game, I am still learning, as Neely Fuller Jr. teaches us. I am still learning. My money game teaches me every day, like, okay, I got to get better. Okay, I got to do this. Okay, I got to do that. But there's always a need for improvement. And when you kind of have a formula, what you do is you take that formula and start, each one needs to teach one. That's why anybody that comes around me, they don't like it, but I'm still going to teach them. Hey, man, because we have to stop arguing with the dominant society. Oh, that's racist. Know what racism really is. It's the competition of resources. You use those resources to oppress another group and manipulate it to your liking. We don't own any businesses. We don't own no boats, no planes, no ships. We don't own any agriculture. We don't own no farms. We don't own no textiles. We don't own concrete. We don't own Caterpillar. We don't own none of those things. But we always shouting racism. Know what racism really is. Racism is Flint, Michigan water. Racism is that. It's trying to balance out the equation. Racism is redlining, gentrification. That's what racism is. That's why when you go over there by UMC and go over there off of Charleston and Rancho, look at those houses. Back in the day, those houses were nothing but $120,000, $100,000. Now they $400,000 for a house to live over there. Jessica Malley, I guess I will start back talking. And San Diego black people are interesting. Some don't even look when spoken to. That's a fact. And hey, that's a fact. That's a fact. Man, I can't even front on y'all right now. Trust and believe you me, Tasha, everybody know me, and everybody that know how it is out in Las Vegas. It's hard like that too, especially out here in Las Vegas. I remember one time I looked at a brother. I was like, hey, man, what's going on? And he kind of looked at me like he wanted to fight. And I was like, man, you good? And he was like, oh, man, I didn't hear you. Because he was such on fight or flight mode. Now, had I been a part of the dominant society, that motherfucker would have been a grinning nigga. Hey, what's going on, boss? Hey, man, what's going on? Because that's how they are. Because that's how we've been socialized and engineered and trained. That's why I, no diss to churches and going to church, but I try to get my people away from just thinking like we can only come together when we go to church. We only come together when it's a funeral. And then when it's a funeral, we don't have life insurance. So Lil Kiki and John Quavius, we got to do a motherfucking GoFundMe because they ain't got life insurance. So now we got to do a GoFundMe to bury him properly. That type of shit. These are the things that I feel like we need to start looking at. You know what I mean? Come on, man. There's more to life than flossing on each other. We do it all day long. And we always, that's another thing about niggas. We always gotta, well, look at this bitch. And oh man, his bitch is bad. Oh, man, this bitch ugly. Look, man, first of all, let me tell you something about niggas. Niggas be talking all this shit about other niggas' women. And then they be the main nigga trying to fuck another nigga's wife. So I don't be want to hear that shit. That's bullshit. These are the things that I look at and I be like, man, stop judging what each other has and start judging what each other don't have so we can come together. Like, okay, if I got the home and that person don't got the home, he don't got the home, then maybe I need to educate. And I've tried to do that on several occasions with my younger brothers and sisters. I do it all the time. Any younger melanated brother or younger melanated sister that I meet, I come across, if they don't own a home, I always try to be like, look, man, you know you qualify for FHA, just build your credit up. Hey, you got to sacrifice. It's all about sacrificing. And then once you buy the house, you got to maintain it. So get something that you can afford. Stop jumping out the window and buying Beamers and Bentleys. Go buy the stock. You know, because Benzes and Beamers and all, they don't give a fuck about the black community. I'm not saying that Nike does. I'm not saying that Under Armour does. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying stop putting all our value in Beamer and getting a Beamer or getting a Benz or getting a Tesla and getting all these cars because we feel like that's what validates us. No, we validate the car. The car don't validate you. Let's start teaching our kids how to buy a car and pay it off. How about that? Let's teach our kids about how to conduct ourselves in an orderly fashion when we in public and not acting no goddamn fool so the police ain't called on us. Let's start learning how to conduct ourselves in such a way where we view each other as allies and not enemies. Man, hey, I'm telling you right now, man, these are the things that you're gonna learn whether you like it or not. If we don't have the respect for each other, Atatiana Jefferson, that's gonna be happening more than we think. That's a fact. And you know, a lot of that happens, you know why? Because there's no intrinsic value in each other. There's not. We don't value each other. I look at how we look at each other. I look at it all the time. I remember I was at the barbershop, and then shout out to the barbershop Cut Above downtown. My barber P fly ass. But anyway, I was down there and we was talking. I was listening to a nigga talk about music, and he was like, "You do music?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I dibble and dabble in it. You know, I do my thing, but you know, these are younger kids, so you know they're like younger than me, so we probably wouldn't relate on a lot because this generation is a lot different from my generation." But the one thing that I told him was, I said, the one thing that I've noticed the 20 years that I've been in Las Vegas, Nevada, is we do not work with each other. There is no major record label out here. There's no major production company out here. Everybody thinks they're hot. As my niece Desiree would say, everybody think they're next. Almost a year ago, Desiree was on this podcast, and that's what she said. Motherfuckers weren't paying attention. I watched it back, and Desiree wasn't lying. Everybody thinks they're next. Nobody wants to listen to anything anyone has to say. Everybody thinks they're more talented than everybody, and that's fine because I've been around that. But with my generation, it was a little bit different because you had to show and prove your talent. You had to show it. Now you can just get behind a computer and kind of make a beat, and that's talent. You don't have to know how to sing or write songs or be a composer or be an actual producer and learn how to get a bass player in the studio with you or a piano player, a pianist in there, and learn how to chop up their samples. And you don't have to do that anymore. So there's a separation gap right there. But what I kept telling them was, I'm proud of the younger generation. I just want us to learn how to work with each other. That's a fact. And I want us to learn how to be around each other and not view each other as competition. Oh, you think I'm reading from the chat room right now. Jessica Mallory, I think the ruling regarding both of them open it up. Now it's not safe to be home. That's a fact. That's a fact. See, I knew that was going to happen. First of all, I played the audio about a week and a half ago of Amber guy. Oh my God, I just wish I could have. And I kept saying, if you feel so bad for his family, then why don't you say, Your Honor, I plead guilty and give me the maximum sentence of 25 years? Because this is what I deserve, because I had no business being in somebody else's apartment. I am guilty. No, you don't care. And I bet you she don't do 10 years. I bet you she don't do 5. She do a year or 2, and she's out and working for another police department, killing other niggas. Y'all can think whatever y'all want, but history has taught us, go get this book called Slavery by Another Name. Slavery by Another Name is where you'll get me saying guilty nigga, because that's what they used to do. I talk about this all the time, how they used to be like, hey nigger, you owe me some money. And he'd be like, dude, I don't even know who you are. And he's like, well, I know who you are, and you owe me some money, nigger. And then you be like, nope, and you go home. And then that white person gets the magistrate or the judge, they go to your house with the law enforcement, drag you out of your home, take you to court, and then that white person tells the judge, this nigger owes me $100, and $100 is like $1,000 or $10,000. And then the judge says, well, he says you owe him $100. Guilty, nigga. So you gotta, since you ain't got the money, you gotta work on his plantation for free for 2 years and work off the labor. That's what they was doing in the antebellum period. That's a fact. So why motherfuckers want to talk about Abraham Lincoln and all this other proclamation? Get the fuck out of here. Abraham Lincoln didn't give a fuck about no niggas. He was trying to save the Union. He didn't care about us or none of that shit. And they build statues after people like him. Man, get the fuck out of here. I want to see a statue of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. That's what I want to see. I want to see us come together like the Haitian Revolution. That's what we need to do. And stop fighting each other and thinking that, oh, that nigga owe me, or oh, yeah, I got that nigga. Yeah, that's why I got that. That's why I called the police on that nigga. That's why that nigga in jail and all that. That's whack shit. If you get into it with your neighbor and you don't have no type of composure about yourself, and then you have to call the police, and then the police come and all this other shit, and it's your melanated brother, sister, and then that's ridiculous. There is, when is it gonna be a point where we have to stop, assess the situation and say, is this worth it or is this not worth it? Because a lot of the times it ain't worth it, but we think it is because we feel like, well, we gonna prove to this nigga. We gonna prove to this nigga that, fuck that nigga. That's why gangs are so prevalent. You know what's so funny? They look at black gang culture and we're violent and we're bloody, but then when you look at mob culture, which is organized crime, gangs, and since they wear suits and ties, theirs is so more sophisticated than ours. Yeah, it might be more organized, but y'all kill motherfuckers too. Y'all kill motherfuckers just like we do. But, it's organized crime. Man, get the fuck out of here. The mob is who killed Sam Cooke, by the way. Because Sam Cooke didn't want to bow down to their asses. But we don't know that because we too busy naming ourselves after these mob players. I'm Gianni, I'm Gianni woo woo whoop, and I'm Coleon this and all this other shit. Them motherfucking Italians don't give a fuck about y'all. You don't see them name their kids after no fucking niggas. We want to praise every culture but our own. Like I said before, the last time we were self-righteous and felt proud of who we were was Black Panther, and that wasn't even real. And we was walking around with our kente cloths and bonnets and sisters speaking to each other and brother, hey, what's up, man? And Wakanda Forever type shit. Nigga, that was a movie that Disney made a whole bunch of money off of. That's all that was, but I get it. If that's what teaches us to come together, then that's what teaches us to come together. But I tell you this right now, these are the things that we have to take and learn from. Because if Atatiana Jefferson I'm gonna keep going back to that. If a nigga walk up on her window and just bust on her, and that's law enforcement, they can do that to you too. So think twice before you argue and get into it when any melanated brother or sister. Think twice. Don't just think that it's all gravy, because it's not. And stop expecting every other race and creed to come save us. You know, I was looking at the LGBTQ LMNOP community. And what's so funny about them is they get their own rights and their own reparations and all this other shit. But melanated people, we will push every agenda but our own. You know, I watch Dirty Dining on Contact 13 in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it is almost always Asians, the Chinamen, the Korean men, the Vietnamese men, or my Latino brothers and sisters on Dirty Dining. It's almost always them. But they got businesses, and their businesses stay open. And it stays focused with people in there patronizing their business. I love how we love to eat sushi and all this other shit. When's the last time you saw a Chinaman go on the west side to Annie's and eat her barbecue? When have we seen that? When are we ever gonna see that shit? No, we not. Because we too busy. Fuck that nigga. Oh, that's broke ass nigga and woo woo. And I get it. Your emotions get the best of you sometimes because it's hard to deal with each other. It's very hard to deal with each other. That's because we see each other as competition. I've been around people like that. They only measure you by how much material you have. See, I used to be that way too. Oh, gotta get material, gotta work hard because I gotta get this, gotta get that. But once I found knowledge of self, once I read The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, once I read The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code by Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers. Once I read Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. When I read that book, I was like, oh shit. You know, when I read Black Labor, White Wealth, I think Black Labor, White Wealth and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's book, that really hurt my feelings. Because I was like, it did. It fuck with my ego as well. Because I was like, damn. Like, damn, what the fuck have I been doing? And what the fuck have I been taught? You know what I mean? And it's like, no diss to growing up in church, and no diss to anybody who go to church. I don't diss anybody. You know, hey, church is good for people. But we have to look at it and keep it in context too. If your church is not teaching you how to buy property, how to come together, start businesses, how to get a trade, and not just go on a corporate plantation and go to school so you can get you a good job. If it's teaching you to do that, it's just teaching you to participate in the system and not be outside of the system like how the Matrix is. Because if you notice, if you watch the Matrix, the machines needed us to, we were the batteries of the machines. So we had to power the system. So that's why they needed us. Let me see. Jessica Mallory, I mean, their food is healthier. I'm not about the fat and sugar. Whose food is healthier? Tell me whose food is healthier. But I'll tell you this, we ain't even gonna get on the food. I talk about that all the time. I'm not saying everything that I eat is healthy, but I do a little shopping at Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's costs a goddamn grip. I ain't gonna lie to you. You buy a little case of that alkaline water, that shit like $30 goddamn dollars. I'm like, goddamn. I can go buy some crack rock for $30 and flip that shit. Like, that's how I'm thinking, like, goddamn. I can go slang this dick and get $30. Damn, you might, like, godly. Like, damn, you, but that's how it is. The price of water. And I tell people, let me tell you a little secret. You ain't gotta go buy no alkaline water if you don't want. Yeah, this is the water I'll be drinking, but you ain't gotta necessarily buy that. I forgot what it's called, spring water. Dr. Sebi teaches us you can buy spring water, and spring water is a natural pH of 7. And get you some lemons, squeeze it in the spring water, and there you have it. But anyway, wait. Hindsight, I wish auntie and uncle enrolled us at the, see, now you talking. I was thinking that shit too. That's a fact. That is a fact. I wish auntie and uncle enrolled us in Marcus Garvey School. You right. And everybody talks about Marcus Garvey School. This dude named Bobby Glanton Smith, he talks about Marcus Garvey School. Matter of fact, Marcus Garvey School probably one of the top schools because we would have been ahead. You know what though? But Marcus Garvey School, let me tell you why I think we weren't enrolled in that school. Because The Marcus Garvey school would have probably taught us about self-preservation, self-reliance, and not just solely focus on religion and focus on building your own business and all that. And that would have kind of, a lot of times with religious people, they're so into that religion and indoctrinated in it, they're not flexible in their beliefs. So what happens is that's where the conflict comes up. And as a child, sometimes schools will teach you the game. Like Marcus Garvey, that school's going to teach you the game so ahead of everything that a lot of times you're going to be to the point where you're going to be bored with religion, no matter what it is, unless it is the Nation of Islam. And that would have been hard for them. But you know what? We should have been in the Marcus Garvey school. That's a fact. I don't eat sushi, but Asia's food is healthier. Yeah, a lot of their food, depending on what it is, because let me tell you, they got a lot of sodium in their shit too. Our food, soul food, is probably the most toxic because it's the most unhealthy, because a lot of our shit is pork. And if you read the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's How to Eat to Live, they have the trichina worm, which if you watch that documentary on Netflix, What the Hell, it talks about the pig and that worm. I used to go kill pigs with my uncles when I was a kid. I seen the worm. I seen the worm myself. I seen it come out of the guts. Oh yeah, remember Billy? He went there. Yes, he did. And look, and where he at now? He got the fuck away from their asses. No diss, but that's what happens when you start. It's almost like this. Okay, you read the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, The Fall of America, right? You read that book. Now you're reading Dr. Francis Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers. Watch how you view people after you've read just that book, those two books. And you read Black Labor, White Wealth. Watch what happens. You're going to start seeing everything different. You're going to be looking at people upside their head like, nigga, what? Like, that's how you're going to be looking at everybody. Because the reason why I say that is because, think about it. I always quick to tell everybody, man, y'all worried about Donald Trump? Man, Joe Biden, he was the architect behind the 94 crime bill that put over 500,000 melanated brothers and sisters in the prison system and called us super predators and thugs and all that. He was the one who made the speech on the floor, on the Senate floor, and said, I need an extra 3 minutes. But we think that Joe Biden is good for us. See, if you know what vote means, you would get an etymology dictionary, and it's going to tell you what vote means, and it means to wish. The etymology of the word vote means to wish. So you got to understand what the difference between money and currency is and all these things. These books teach us that. That's why I don't view money the same. We still need it, but I don't view it the same. You know what? Maybe I will put a book list together. Right now, I'm reading Bacon's Rebellion. That's a pretty good book about my view is so much different. Yep, I told you your view. Look at, that's why Billy liked that. Billy probably was obtaining so much knowledge. He probably was looking at everybody like, man, these motherfuckers is crazy. I gotta get the fuck away from them. And that's what would have happened to us. See, if we would have been around educated people, I'm not talking about religious educated. I'm talking about life education, history. Like, I just found out about the Moors 5 years ago. I should have been knowing about the Moors when I was a child. If I'd have known my history, I would have viewed things differently, and I would have understood why every other race would hate on my race and why there was nigger sprayed on our wall, and I would have known the true meaning of nigger, and it means black God. See, I didn't know that, and I would have known how they took it out of context, and they took the Latin root of nigger because, the Spaniards, they had a disdain towards the melanated brothers and sisters, the Moors, because the Moors, we conquered and ruled them. That's why when you look at Italians, they call us Mule and Mule and all, Moulignan and all this other stuff. That's because of Ismail Mule, the Moor from Northern Africa, who ruled the Europeans and had them enslaved. See, they don't like that. See, these are the things that we need to know. See, in church, they're not going to really teach you about the Moors and what the Moors are responsible for. And they're not, it's like this is the thing that most melanated millennials don't know. When you say, hey man, the richest man that ever walked the planet was King Mansa Musa. He had over like $500 trillion in gold, in Himalayan salt. And they're like, who is that? Oh, you don't know who he is? Well, he's melanated. They don't know that. They don't know about the Moors. the Alhambra Moors in Alhambra, California. It says the home of the Moors. Look it up. Home of the Moors. If you watched the new Robin Hood with Jamie Foxx, he played a Moor. But we don't know who these people are because we don't know what our history is. We don't know about the Moors in Spain. We don't know about any of those things. That's why I had to start reading and researching and like, damn, I didn't know that was going on. No wonder they view us that way. Well, it's all good, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, man, I'm going to try to hit y'all up on the Dome tomorrow or Tuesday. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. I think I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try to get my family on one of these podcasts and we can start talking like I did before. If I get I gotta get my family on here and see who want to do it. They probably ain't nobody gonna want to do it. Why only in college? Timbuktu. Learned a lot in college. Why only in college? Timbuktu. Exactly. But hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening and subscribing. Like I said before, this channel is not for everyone. R.I.P. to Atatiana Jefferson again. R.I.P. to her family. Thoughts and prayers go out to her. Let's pray. You know, I believe in the power of prayer. And this is where religion comes into a point where, you know, somebody has to get around that family and weather the storm with them. But let's take this as a lesson we'll learn and stop calling police on each other and each one teach one. So we can stop depending on law enforcement to regulate who we are as people. Shout out to everybody listening and subscribing. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I am going to start putting a book list together. I'm going to start putting a book list together in the little comments right there. Not the comments, but I'm talking about where it's got my Twitter and shit like that. I'm going to start putting a book list together, man. And then if y'all got any books, leave them on the comments. And I'm going to put an email. I got to put the email up. I keep forgetting what it is. And because I know Tamisha will send me books all the time. So y'all can send me books that y'all think I should read because I'm open. I'm still learning. I'm still fucking learning. After I read Bacon's Rebellion, I think I'm going to read In the Matter of Color. I think that's the next book that I'm going to read. So, hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. This is the No I Don't Know TV series. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. I am going to try to have different guests and shit on this podcast. I'm going to start taking this shit on the road and interviewing people. Shout out to Brand T, everybody that be listening, and Nuke. Hey, man, I hope you have a blessed day today or better than it is. RIP, again, Atatiana Jefferson. Hey, man, I'm out. Peace.